Hello, because Tom Scott and the boys aren't doing it anymore, we're playing Citation Needed. Joining me today, the one and only Fiona Panther. I have semi-randomly selected a Wikipedia article. I did it by going to This Day in History on the Wikipedia front page and looking for something that was interesting. So today I have the Waffle House Index.
Oh!
Ooh.
I actually read about this recently, so I believe this could be
a short game.
Could be a very short game. So this came up in the wake of one of the recent hurricanes in America.
Ding!
And it is actually a measure of how well a particular location in America is coping with the effect of a natural disaster.
Ding! Mystery biscuits, right there. Yes. The Waffle House Index is an informal metric used by the Federal Emergency Management Agency to determine the effect of a storm and the likely scale of assistance required for disaster recovery.
But the reason this, I think, came into being was because the actual agencies that were employed to do this were less effective than the informal reports coming in from Waffle House's social media accounts during, I think it was one of the hurricanes... I was going to say one of the hurricanes that hit in the Gulf of Mexico, which is basically every hurricane ever. So I think that's where it originally came from.
Okay, it was the 2011 Joplin tornado.
Oh, okay.
So
is that named after Janice?
Let's find out.
Or is it a place?
I'm hoping it's a place. Yeah, Joplin's a place.
Okay, I was just imagining like a tornado coming through and all you hear is, "Oh Lord, won't you buy me?" So it's coming through, you get like that advance warning kind of thing.
Oh my god. This went very differently to how I imagined
I'm very
it.
sorry. I'm sorry. This was just it was all over Twitter about about 6 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah, recently it was like in the wake of like the recent sort of like the Puerto Rico hurricane,
okay.
and the one that just happened not so long back. It kind of became famous.
Right. So you sort of said why it was, but why have they picked Waffle House in particular?
Is it because it's one of those like fairly ubiquitous things that's in basically every state?
Sort of. So it's because the Waffle House, during the Joplin tornado, 2 Waffle House restaurants in Joplin remained open.
Ah.
But also, it also lists Home Depot, Walmart, and Lowe's along with Waffle House because they're in Tornado Alley, or in states that are in Tornado Alley. They have very good tornado risk management and disaster preparedness, including cut down menus for when there's no power or only limited supplies are available.
Oh, so they can actually stay open and operating. Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So the index goes green, yellow, red. Do you want to try and take a guess at what each one involves? So
is this going to be there's going to be something to do with like the availability of different foodstuffs and the total customer flux?
Not the customer flux, but you're right along the lines of the food. So so green, category green would be...
the whole menu is available?
Yep, full menu.
Okay, full menu. Yellow, I'm going to guess like maybe you're down to not having like fresh egg, like the fresh things like fresh eggs, that's not going to be available. So maybe you're like I'm assuming their waffle mix is pre-made. Sorry if that's like a terrible indictment on Waffle House. I've never been to America. But presumably like fresh eggs to like put fried eggs and stuff on, maybe.
So all it says here is yellow is limited menu, no power or only power from a generator, or food supplies may be low.
Okay, so you can only have waffles if someone's sitting on an exercise bike powering, with enough power to kind of like grill your waffle.
Yep, to iron your waffles. And red would be?
Sort of no power, basically not really able to, you're down to eating the frozen fruit, which is slowly defrosting in the deep freeze.
Restaurant is closed due to severe flooding or
okay.
severe damage.
Okay, so it's only so you can imagine if it's just minor flooding and there's like little bits of waffle floating around, around your ankles, it's still good.
It says here, if you get there and the Waffle House is closed, that's really bad.
Oh, okay. That's really interesting. So it kind of stays open. Nothing stands between Americans and waffles, is what I'm learning from this.
Apparently it's a really good disaster preparedness. So basically you knew the answer straight away, so that's gone through really quickly, but fantastically. In the C also, there is the Big Mac Index.
Big Mac Index.
Yeah.
Is this also a disaster thing?
No, this is kind of the opposite of a disaster. Normal operations.
Normal operations.
The economy is running normally.
Is this something to do with, like, obesity?
No.
No?
No, it's to do with the economy.
It's to do with the economy. It's something to do with, like, the amount of Big Macs being sold. Like, if the economy's going well, people are eating out a lot?
It's a good guess, but no. So this is a way of measuring purchasing power parity.
Oh, so it's like you compare how much a Big Mac costs to how much something from Hungry Jack's costs?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No. Sorry. I got ahead of you there, or behind you there. No, so you compare the cost of a Big Mac in different countries.
Oh, so it's like you can see like whether in Zimbabwe a Big Mac might cost like $20, whereas in America I don't know how much it would cost, but like it costs about $5 here in Australia. Okay, so you're kind of comparing countries' economies by the cost of a commodity, and rather than comparing the cost of something like gold or oil, you are testing people's individual purchasing power in the country's economy.
So it says here it was first published by The Economist as an informal way of measuring purchasing power parity, and it seeks to make exchange rate theory a bit more digestible.
Oh, God.
Love it. Do you want to take a guess at when that was? Give me a decade. This, I'm guessing, is going to be 1980s? Yep. Spot on. So 1986.
Yeah.
So
that would have been around Black Friday, would it? I'm sure there was some kind of economic downturn in the 80s.
Yes, there were. I thought that wasn't until 88, but that's a bit off track, so I won't follow that one. But so the main job of this is you can compare purchasing power in various different ways, and also just compare currency to currency through the exchange rate. So this is a way of working out whether through the exchange rate a country's currency is over or undervalued.
Okay, yeah.
So if you just compare the exchange rates and then compare the cost of a Big Mac, and depending on if the Big Mac then looks too expensive or cheaper than predicted by the straight up exchange rate, you then say, well, the country's currency is over or undervalued. So it gives an example for England the United Kingdom in 2008. It says the price of a Big Mac in the United States was $3.57, but varies by store. That was the average price. The price of a Big Mac in the United Kingdom, varied by region, was £2.29. And so when you convert this all down, the pound was overvalued against the dollar by 28%.
Right, okay.
So why would a Big Mac be a good way to do it?
Well, it's one of those things where it's just like they don't change the recipe. Yep. It's kind of consistent. You can go to any country and you can buy exactly the same product. Yep.
So there are McDonald's franchises in a huge number of countries, and they're all making to the same formula, generally with local produce. So here in Australia, we'll use Australian beef and Australian lettuce in an Australian Big Mac. So that's pretty much what the Wikipedia article says. It should cost the same in both currencies, really, with variations depending on the local franchisee's ability to negotiate shipping rates or discounts and things like that. So there are some variants. According to this, in 2007, an Australian bank tried a variation called the iPod Index. However, it was flawed because iPods are only manufactured in one place and then shipped around the world.
Yeah.
There's the Billy Index by Bloomberg.
The Billy Index. Billy.
Think Swedish.
Swedish. Oh, bookcases.
Yep.
IKEA book. Those really ubiquitous. We've
Yep.
got some. We've got some back home. There's ubiquitous bookcase that IKEA makes. Everyone has them.
Yep, they're cheap. They're readily available in lots of countries.
But they're not made locally. Presumably they're imported. So
Imported, but it gives you a different way of measuring it, but it's still
okay.
something relatively cheap that's
Right.
available in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
There's also the Gold Mac Index. So how many Big Macs can you buy in that country for a gram of gold?
Oh, okay.
A lot.
Really?
Well,
so I can
presume.
go and trade in a necklace chain for a Big Mac.
Do you want to go down the road and try?
I'm really tempted to. Let's get in the car.
And so the Swiss bank has also modified this so that they work it out by the average amount of time a local worker must work in order to afford a Big Mac.
Okay.
There's also a Starbucks one based on chai lattes.
Chai lattes. That's kind of surprising because I thought an Americano index would be more reliable. But
As someone who doesn't go to Starbucks, yeah, I don't get
no,
that.
just black coffee is something that people
okay.
want everywhere.
Right.
It's sort of a fairly it's not consistent across countries because for example in France coffee is particularly disgusting, and then in Germany it's quite disgusting.
The wheel spins and it lands on France. We're doing well at this, I think. So there's a fascinating sub-chapter here, sub-menu here. Manipulation.
Oh, is this where you can game the Big Mac index?
Yep. Ding.
How does one just this is
Do you want to? Well, before that, do you want to take a guess at what country gamed the Big Mac
Which
Index?
country gamed the Big Mac index?
Oh,
It's got to be somewhere that's got a corrupt government.
yep. Oh.
Oh well.
Well, yes.
A sort of crypto-fascist kind of thing.
Oh, you're doing very well.
Is this going to be somewhere like North Korea?
No.
Oh.
No. Do
Zimbabwe?
they have McDonald's? Are
I
there
think
McDonald's
they
in North
do.
Korea?
Oh, some kind of... maybe they don't, I don't know. Maybe it's one of those
Do
Western
they
things.
even have Big Macs, or is it just
I
cocaine?
don't know. Is it Zimbabwe?
No. If I said Cristina Fernandez de Kirchner,
Oh, somewhere in South America, Central South America.
Argentina.
Argentina.
So many
Cut out the bit about crypto-fascism, maybe.
Many economists believe that the government has for years falsified consumer price data to understate the country's true inflation rate. Do you want to take a guess at when this was?
Early 1990s?
No, later.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Is it quite recent?
Surprisingly recent, 2011.
Oh, I was going to say 2010. Yeah.
So the Economist stated that the Big Mac Index does support claims that Argentina's government is cooking the books. And then it goes on about burger inflation at 19% and the official rate being at 10%.
But I mean, they might not be intentionally gaming this, because isn't Argentinian beef supposed to be especially good? This may not actually be them intentionally gaming the Big Mac Index.
That year, the press began reporting on unusual behaviour of more than 200 Argentinian McDonald's restaurants. They no longer prominently advertised Big Macs for sale, and the sandwich, they call burgers a sandwich in this article, both individually and as part of value meals, was being sold for an unusually low price compared to other items.
See, I think we've got a bigger problem here, is that Wikipedia hasn't standardised across all of its articles what the definition of a sandwich is. Because a burger is, especially a Big Mac, I guess a Big Mac is technically actually a club sandwich, not a burger, because it has 3 buns.
Typing with one hand here.
Are you looking up the Wikipedia definition of a burger?
First of all, I'm just looking up the definition of sandwich. An item of food consisting of 2 pieces of bread with a filling between them eaten as a light meal.
In which case, a Big Mac is not a sandwich. It's got 3 pieces of bread. It's got a central bun.
Oh, does it?
It goes bun, patty, lettuce, sauce, bun, patty, lettuce, sauce, bun.
I've had club sandwiches that do that.
Yes, it's a club sandwich, but that's a special subcategory of the sandwich.
So all we've established is a burger is a subcategory of sandwich.
Yeah. Still, I think Wikipedia need to work on standardising this.
And on that note, congratulations, you have won a full aeroplane going to see some small marsupial rodents play football. It's a chocker-focker for the quacker-socker.